Hi, Lydia here. This is just a short little video to help us prepare the body or to help strengthen the body as we go into autumn season. It's definitely getting a lot colder here in Amsterdam. A lot of people are getting colds, coughs, feeling a lot of fatigue, the immune system a little bit weak after a long period of hibernation, and then suddenly a cold autumn coming in. And the organs in the traditional Chinese medicine system connected to autumn are the lung and the large intestine. So we're going to be working with some acupressure points on those meridians or on that lung meridian line, and my favourite yin shape for the lungs. So just getting yourself in a nice comfortable position. I'm just sat kneeling with a little block underneath my bum, between my bum and my heels, but maybe you just want to sit in a comfortable cross leg, maybe lifting up the hips. Let's just take a nice deep inhale. Sigh out the mouth. Once more, maybe the eyes come to close. Nice, and that soft gaze or eyes closed, shoulders gently relaxing away from your ears. Breathing in and out of the nostrils. The nose being the organ connected to the lungs. Breathing in fresh energy, fresh chi. And then exhale, releasing anything you no longer need. And the lungs are also considered part of our immune system in our Chinese medicine. They're our defense system that connect our external world to our internal world, bringing in oxygen, bringing in energy. So working with our breath, working with breath work is a really supportive tool to keep our bodies happy and healthy during this season. Slowing down the breath. Breathing deep into the belly. Notice how the slow, deep belly breathing is really effective at calming down the mind, soothing the nervous system, nourishing the body. I'm going to work with our first meridian line, and the lung meridian begins just around the armpit and travels along the inside line of the arm, on this top side of the arm, the radial side, and runs up to the thumb, the inside line of the thumbnail. So we're going to begin with lung 1. So we're going to bring our hands into little pincers, into little triangle pincers. And from here, we're just going to tap this lung 1, hitting the hands to so the tips of the fingers are patting into that inside of the armpit line. Maybe the eyes come back down to close. Finding this length in the spine, this gentle breath. 2 more breaths. Nice, and then gently release. Maybe just gently rubbing, massaging this area, make it feel a little bit tender, maybe a little bit more energized. We're going to move to our second acupressure point, lung 5, and this is the most commonly used acupressure point in our acupuncture practice. And you're going to find this, it's going to be on the inside line of the arm, so where the radial is, where the thumb is, like red. And if you can feel that tendon, so maybe just gently bending the arm, and in your crease of the elbow, you'll feel that big tendon. And we're going to press into that point just above the tendon on the top line of the arm. And this is your lung 5. So I like to press in here with my thumb. So just pressing, holding, applying a little bit of pressure. Lung 5 helps to nourish the yin energy, to moisten the lung. And if we have a disharmony in the lung meridian, we can get symptoms of cough or cold, fever, issues with respiration, which is why our breathing is so important during this time. So nothing else to do, nothing else to think about, just pressing into our lung 5, slowing down the breath, holding here for around 30 to 60 seconds. And then gently release, maybe a little rubbing, it might feel a bit tender, and then we're going to move to the other side. So again, just gently bending at the elbow, finding that big tendon, and I like to press in with my thumb, but maybe you use an index finger. You'll find that big tendon and then just press down into that space. It's easier when the arm is bent, there's a bit less muscles in the way. So pressing into that space. Soften the shoulders. Relax the muscles of your face. And the emotion connected to autumn and to the organ of lungs is sadness. So if there's a disharmony, if we're having symptoms of cold and flu and fever, there may also be a rise in sadness. And this is actually very common, especially in countries in Europe where it begins to get quite dark in autumn, the night seems to draw in, and this lack of light can often make us feel a little bit blue, a little bit down, feelings of sadness. And in Chinese medicine, it's not a good thing or a bad thing, it simply just represents a little bit of imbalance. So notice if that's an emotion coming up for you. Accept that it's a sign of a change in season, maybe a sign of imbalance, and perhaps coming to these acupressure points, utilizing breath work, utilizing all of these skills we have in our toolbox to help lift this fog. Gently releasing that point, a little rub. And then I'll just explain where we're going to next. So we're going to come into open wing. So if you know the shape, coming straight there, otherwise just watching the screen. We're going to begin lying down on our belly. Right cheek is going to be to the floor. Right arm is out towards the side like a little T shape, palm facing down. That left hand is going to come just underneath the left shoulder, and we're going to roll on to the right side body. So if this already feels like enough, staying here, that's absolutely lovely. Otherwise, maybe you're exploring bending that left knee up towards the ceiling, left foot to the floor behind the right knee. That left hand can rest in front of the chest, or maybe that left arm is reaching up to the sky and just gently resting behind the lower back. And if this feels really strong, or maybe there's some discomfort in the left hip, opening up the hip here, either bringing a block or a cushion in between the thighs, or just allowing the legs to stack on top of each other. And this can feel like a really lovely opening on that inside of the right shoulder, into that lung meridian line. In our yin shapes, we hold for around 3 to 5 minutes. And this allows us to work into the deeper tissues. So softening the muscles so we can activate the fascia, the connective tissue that wraps around the whole body. Slowing down the breath. Softening the muscles of your face.
Last few breaths. No need to rush. Making any adjustments to your shape that you need. Tuning in to whether you need to sink a little deeper for sensation or roll a little further towards the floor. And if you have a little more time, maybe pausing the video, holding for a little longer. Otherwise, we're going to roll onto our belly, just allowing the arms to come alongside the body as we rest on the left cheek. Shoulders rolling forwards, just staying flat on your belly. A moment to receive the shape, to notice how it feels in your body today. Release a sigh. And then we'll gently explore the second side, knowing this side may feel very different. So the left arm is going to come out wide towards the left, palm is facing down. And then you're going to roll on to that left side body. Maybe the legs are stacked on top of each other, or perhaps that right foot comes to the floor, right knee towards the ceiling. Left leg is nice and relaxed, floppy to the floor. That right hand, you can just gently rest in front of the chest, aiding for a little support here. A block can come in between the knees. And then that right hand maybe explores and rests behind the lower back. Just a few options to explore. And then allow that soft gaze, that closed eyes, whatever feels right for this moment. Know that it's not about what the shape looks like, rather how the shape feels in your body. That opening, that stressing of that left shoulder. This healthy stress that opens up this meridian lines, opens up the heart space. And as the cold draws in winter, we also seem to or have to wear a lot more layers, which is very nourishing for the lung, to drink lots of warm fluids, eat warm foods, nourish ourselves with warm clothing. But with that warm clothing, with that wrapping in, there's this sense of rounding the back, cocooning ourselves in, lots of rounding forwards. And so there can be a lot of tightness, a lot of shortness in the front of the body. And so by opening up into the shoulder, into the chest, the heart space, we're helping to counter this rounding movement that we do in autumn, but also generally in our more stagnant lives. And that can also help to lift our energy, lift our mood, working with these heart openings. Last few breaths. And then gently unravel. Allow that right arm to come forward if it was behind the back, rolling forwards. And then just find yourself lying on your back, coming into your Shavasana. Arms out wide, legs out long. Don't worry which direction your head is facing. Just find yourself settled on your back. Maybe just gently moving the shoulder blades out the way so there's a little more space for the spine to snuggle down. Inviting the mind to where the body is, in this place of deep rest, deep nourishment. Softening the eyes, that place between eyebrows, your jaw, your shoulders, your arms, to the tips of your fingers. And I'll leave you here in your final rest. Enjoy, receive.